Hey everybody, Gary with Basecamp Trading. Let's take a look at how we were trading gold this morning. Gold was kind of odd this morning. Our higher time frames were giving us absolutely nothing. We didn't have any really clear direction off our higher time frames. So we just traded the Unirenko chart based on price action. The first setup we had first thing this morning was this trend reversal breakout. You can see gold was in an uptrend at that time, making higher highs, higher lows, came down, made a pivot. It's not a lower pivot low. Previous pivot low was here. Made a pivot, came up, made a lower pivot high, and then broke out of the cloud to the downside, making a lower pivot low. So we took this trend reversal breakout, first entry. Again, when higher time frames are convoluted, we're not necessarily looking for large runs. So we're a little more conservative with our trades. We enter multiple contracts, but we take more contracts off at our first target. And this one, we were able to take the trend reversal breakout to the downside, good for one target or $100 per contract. Made the pullback. This is one of the trades that we are also always looking for. There's four main trades that we look for. This is one of the setups we like. We broke the cloud, pulled back to the 34. Moving averages were all starting to move down. Price was below the cloud, below the smooth 50. We caught our wick bar right here off the 34. And again, good for another first target or $100 per contract. Again, we're trading multiple contracts, taking multiple contracts off at first target because we're not expecting a big run. Pulled back, actually took the stop out right there. Did not have any kind of a momentum reset on this trail stop failure right here, so actually did not re-enter here. Just kind of skipped that. Was watching to see what price was doing. We did get the pullback again to the 34. Decent momentum reset. We got back above the minus 25, not quite to the zero line on the slow line. The fast line, you can see we're painting an arrow right here, telling us that the fast line got near the zero line, was making a fast line zero touch. So we took our wick trade off the 34, which is one of the trades we like to take, and that trade was actually good for two contracts off, or $200 per contract. Again, we're taking multiples off at the first target, leaving a couple runners just in case we do get a run. But again, when the higher time frames are not giving us good direction, we're not looking for runners. So we're just grabbing quick profits as we go. Made the pullback and then just went into the chop. We just started chopping sideways, and we chopped sideways for nearly an hour and a half, just really not going anywhere. But inside the chop, you can see that we had gone up here, tested this previous pivot right here, painted a power line, pulled back, moved back up, actually popped through it by just a little bit, set up another power line on another previous pivot high. Not taking entries here. We're in the chop, we're in the cloud, between the moving averages. There's nothing in this mess telling us to take a trade. So we're just kind of sitting tight. But then during that period of time, you can see we started making slightly higher highs and higher lows. We had a slight higher high right here, a slight higher low. And here we did get a good momentum reset on the zero line, our slow line. The slow line pulled down to the zero line on MQ momentum, gave us our cyan arrow. This was a little riskier setup, not the perfect setup necessarily, but price was breaking back above the cloud, breaking back above the smooth 50 with a slow line zero touch. I like slow line zero touches for continuation type trades. So we entered here anticipating the possible break out of resistance. At the very least, even if we went back up to resistance, that was going to be good enough for at least one target. Obviously had been testing that. We'd been up there a couple times, so we're anticipating at least going back that far again. Going to snatch another $100 per contract off, again taking multiples off at the same time, or taking multiples off early at the first target. Ended up breaking out. We grabbed a couple targets actually. In fact, we missed third target by one tick. Didn't fill third target. Pulled back, continued on, good for another target. Finally did hit the third target up here, and we were done for the session. That was it. Again, we went through kind of a choppy period there, but when the higher time frames are not giving us what we want, we can just trade price action and just trade our normal setups off the Unorenco chart, and we can still make money. I mean, not a great morning, but not horrible. $100 per contract there, 100 there, 200 there, and 300 there. So, not a bad morning trading gold. Not perfect, but no big runners. But again, when hard time frames are not helping us out, we can just trade price action.